Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now, today we're going to talk about the Affordable Connectivity Program, which is a program passed by the Build Back Better plan, or parts of it that were passed by the Biden administration and Congress a few years back, that made for internet to be affordable to most Americans, pretty much, for the majority of Americans anyway, especially those on the low income side of life, right? Those of us that don't have a lot of money, we still want to be connected to the rest of the world, right? And there are a lot of kids out there that have no that whose parents don't have enough money to pay for hundreds of dollars in cable and internet. And there was a subsidy program, the Affordable Connectivity Program, that was funding people and helping people pay no more than $30 a month for high-speed internet. So everybody in the country could have access to the internet. But thanks to all the mess that's gone on in Congress over the last few years, or last year or so especially since January of this year, um, it never got approved. It never got refunded. So that program ends at the end of May, at least as of this recording on May 10th, 2024. As of right now, thousands of people, if not millions of people across this country, could lose their ability to afford internet at the end of this month. Now, I've heard from friends of mine that are on the program that they've received letters from their um, internet provider that they're going to continue providing the fees at the lower rate, or the plans at a lower rate, but not all of them are going to. It's going to hurt a lot of people. There was a plan to save it. There was a plan to attach um, an amendment to um, the Federal Aviation Administration bill. That's a must-pass bill that would have funded $9 billion for the ACP and what they called the rip and replace, which was having to do with another cell phone provider, I believe it was. And they tried to attach it, but that bill passed today in the Senate with no amendments. Therefore, the ACP is dead. And that's really disappointing. Remember, the people that are doing this are mostly Republicans. The Democrats are on board with trying to save it. But unfortunately, too many in both parties didn't support the idea of putting the amendment in, apparently, and it didn't pass. This is something that's just all it's gonna do is hurt the poor. And that's all this Congress seems to care about, is hurting the poor. How can you hurt the poor? How can you hurt other marginalized groups? How can you hurt anybody that you can hurt, is what our Congress seems to be into these days. Because instead of doing anything to help the American people, they can't even come together on one bipartisan effort to help people that are low income have affordable internet. Because this was helpful to all sorts of working families. And we all know, we know that, poverty doesn't just affect liberals and doesn't just affect Democrats, or Republicans, right? Poverty doesn't discriminate. So politicians out there on the left or the right side of the aisle should be willing to help the poor afford things like food and other basic needs. And some people will tell me, be like, but Julie, that's not a basic need. That's not a need. In this world, having the internet is a need. especially, with schools having the problems they've been having, with, violence and things like that, but as well as, their schools closing down because too many kids have flu, too many people have COVID, too many people have the measles. And one of the few ways to be able to keep kids in school and keep them learning is to have access to things like Zoom that you have to have the internet for. Now, I know a lot of people that grew up with me in my, and are my age aren't too concerned about that kind of stuff because we didn't have to deal with it, right? When we didn't go to school, we just didn't go to school. But now when you don't go to school, you have an option to keep learning and not fall behind. I remember being that kid that was sick all the time. I remember always being sick. I spent the better part of a year battling on and off again with bronchitis. And every time that I missed school, I missed out on learning. Every single time. And now you're going to tell me that poor kids don't deserve an education? What's the point of having a world of information at your fingertips if not everybody can access it? Now, it wasn't like these people were getting free internet. They were just able to pay $30 a month to get decent internet without the scams of some of the other internets out there. But our Congress doesn't care. Congress just doesn't care about taking care of people's needs. Also, more reason for it. Say you're low income. Say you're living on, help from others or some kind of welfare program, right? And that's the only way you're able to survive. But you don't have access to the internet. That also means you can't apply for jobs. And I'm not joking, because I've tried in the past to apply to jobs in person. And every single time I'm handed a little piece of paper that says, go home and go to this website. Every single time. No joke. And that's the world we live in, right? So we have to adjust our thoughts and our beliefs on the world we're living in. Back in the 90s, no, it made no sense for the government to fund everyone having the internet because the internet wasn't necessary. The internet was just something fun people played on. That was it. Not very many people relied on it for everyday work. But by allowing people to have $30 a month internet, it has raised people out of poverty. They've been able to work from home. Those people that are typically referred to as shut-ins have been able to work from home more. The more people are able to work from home that can't typically get out in the workforce, the fewer people that are going to require, federal subsidies for other things. Because if you can have work your own business from home, or do remote work and get paid because you work on the internet, that's going to raise people. That's going to raise people up. That's going to give them a hand up to what they need to be able to survive. And here at the Big Ranch Show, all I care about at the end of the day is helping marginalized groups, helping the LGBTQ community, and helping figure out ways to make things better for the working poor and the poor of this country. That's why you see videos on this channel very often about food stamps and how important they are to people, and housing assistance and things like that I have discussed over and over again on this channel. I really wish there was something more I could do. But clearly, our government does not care to ensure that people have connection to the internet. They're putting partisan beliefs in front of people's well-being, and I'm sick of it. I don't care what party you're from. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care who you are. If you're somebody that doesn't care about taking care of the poor, you don't care about taking care of marginalized groups, then I don't care about you. And you're not going to get my support. I, for one, absolutely just flabbergasted at the fact of how badly we treat the working class in this country. We treat the working class, the working poor, as if they're trash, as if they don't matter. But we sure give the billionaire class everything they freaking want, right? Anything the billionaires want, we give them. They ask for more tax cuts, they get more tax cuts. They want more subsidies for their businesses, we give more subsidies for their businesses. But people ask for anything for the poor. And our government is always like, to hell with you. That's what they do every single time poor people ask for help. That's all they've done for the last basically 40 years. And it just continues. This isn't new. It's pathetic to live in a country that just doesn't care. If you're rich, you're important. If you're not, you're not. That's a sad state of affairs here in America. And that's exactly where I'm at the moment. Now, in other news, Trump's hush money trial. Michael Cohen testifies on Monday. They're saying, the prosecutor's saying they could be done with that trial as early as the end of next week. So watch this space for more details on that. There's been some developments with the Israel stuff going on. Joe Biden has made a threat to pause weapons being sent to Israel because of their invasion of Rafah. We'll see if that actually holds and if Joe Biden even has a spine when it comes to the red line that he has drawn, because Obama sure didn't have any spine when it came to drawing a red line in Syria, did he? But next week I will have more videos and I will see what's going on next week. There'll be more video, like I said, more videos next week. There'll be more discussion next week, and we'll see what happens with the ACP. Have a good day. I'll see you down the road.